What's up, guys? I want to show you a common problem on older vehicles. You may start noticing that your cruise control on your steering wheel, on mine it's right here, just doesn't work as well anymore. And you also may start noticing that your airbag light is coming on, although the other airbag lights for your seats are working properly. Most of the time that means you need to replace your clock spring that goes into your steering wheel. All this does is it lets you turn the steering wheel and keeps all the electronics working, like your cruise control, and in some cases you may even have buttons here and here on your steering wheel. So here we go, let me show you how to do it. Now the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to want to disconnect the power from your battery just by removing one of your terminals. I've already done that here by removing my ground wire, and it's hanging right here. Here it is. And the reason you want to do this is because you do have an airbag on that steering wheel in most vehicles, and you don't want that going off while you're actually working on putting that new clock spring in. So make sure and disconnect the power so the airbag doesn't go off, and give it a good 15 to 30 minutes just to drain all the battery power out of your vehicle. All right, next thing you want to do is you are going to want to take these little covers off to gain access to either the screws or release tabs to remove the front part of the steering wheel. There's one on both sides, and you're going to want to remove those. I'm actually able to get my nail in there and just pop that sucker off. And if you look inside there, you will see there is a star head screw that needs to be removed. That's what we're going to do next. Alright, once you have those little bolts loose, I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is actually kind of nice. They give you a nice plastic retainer to hold that screw so you don't lose it. Okay, so now that that's loose, you can actually gently remove the airbag. And you want to be kind of careful with this. And if you look back behind the steering wheel, you will see that you have two tabbed connectors that you are going to want to remove, and they just have these little yellow things you have to lift up, and then they'll pull out very easily. So let's get that done. All right, I'm going to show you how to remove these. So I don't know if you can see that, but that little yellow thing is raised up. You can put a little small flathead screwdriver in there and raise that up, and once you raise it up, you can gently remove that. Okay, and it just kind of pulls up slowly, and there it is. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So basically, I'm just going to try and get underneath it, back here, if I can. I'll give you guys a good angle so you can see this as it happens. I don't know if you can see that, but it's starting to kind of raise up. There it is. Okay, and then you should be able to kind of get your screwdriver underneath there. There it is. Came up that time. Okay, same deal. Take this. Okay. Once that is lifted up, and this should just kind of come up and come loose. There it is. And you have one small ground wire down here at the bottom that you also need to remove. And that just slides off. It's just a standard clip, I believe. Yep. So just want to work it and pull it off. And then once you get that off, you can set it on the seat. All right, the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove these wires because they are connected to the clock spring back here. I don't know if you can see that, but that's actually the clock spring back behind there. And so the first one you want to remove, at least on mine, is the cruise control, which comes in. There's a little clip right here, which I've already depressed, and pull it out and get it out of the way. And then pull it out of there as well. Okay, there's that one. That actually has the ground on it too. So I'm gonna set that aside, and then also do the same thing with this guy right here, which is the airbag. And this one we may have to wait, but one of the things you want to do is just try and compare and make sure that these look pretty similar. Obviously, and that one does look pretty similar, has the same wires, and looks like that wire does not come off. It's actually a part of this. So all we need to do is just now take the cruise control out to get it out of the way, and take the steering wheel off. And to do that, I'm going to use a large impact. It makes the process a lot easier. You can use a puller, and sometimes pullers help as well. Now, one of the things I didn't mention is that you're going to want to make sure and get your steering wheel as straight as possible. And if you've had a really good alignment with good alignment people, that should translate into your tires actually being super straight as well. Let's close the door and look, which they are. So you want to do that before you remove the steering wheel, because obviously you want your clock spring to go in the right position when you put it in. And so that's a really good advice for those of you who are changing this on your own. But basically, one squeeze of the trigger, my nut already came loose, and there it is. And actually, my steering wheel came off so easy, I didn't even catch it on camera. I just put a little pressure on one side and gave it one good tug, and there she is. And there is your clock spring, and that's what we're going to need to change. And most likely what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take these two screws off to get access to this lower portion, so we can disconnect this bottom part. Because if you compare it to the new one, so this is the new one here. There we go. So let's get the right orientation here. So there's how the new one will look, and if you look on the back side, or actually on the side, there's the two inputs where it goes in. So we are going to take these two screws off and see if we can't get it taken care of. All right, after taking those screws off, this panel here, literally just pull down on it and it pops this open and gives you access to the clips that you need to take out so that you can get your clock spring out. So here we go. All right, now the next thing you're going to want to do, you probably want to take the old one out and take it to a bench so you can work on it. And I like to keep mine in the same position, just put a piece of tape so that way it's actually at the top, just like it was when I took it out. And then you're going to want to use a little screwdriver, and you're going to want to take out this part right here. And that whole piece comes out. It's just held in by basically some little tabs. I don't know if you see those. Tab there, one there, and then it slides on those two little rods. So you want to take this out, okay? You want to transfer this over. This does have a clip for the sensor part of this. You want to transfer it over to the new one and slide it in. And do the same thing, just get it to click and clip in place. Now with the new part all put back together, now it's time to put it back in just like you had it before. So So start assembling this, and I'm just gonna slide it right on there. You'll notice there's little grooved tabs on either side, so it should go pretty much right back in the same way as it did before. Now, you may have noticed on the new one, you've got an orange tab. That's to keep this in its right position so it doesn't accidentally rotate on you. And as you're putting this back together, it should actually keep it from doing that, and you'll pull that later. All right, got this all assembled together now. And now I'm about ready to pull the tab and put the steering wheel back on. So here we go. All right, so pull that tab, breaks it loose. And then what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna feed these through the top of your steering wheel. See that? And then I'm just gonna line it up. Okay. You wanna, again, line your steering wheel up as straight as you can, just like you had it before. Alrighty. Alright, there she is. Now what I can start doing is start rewiring everything back in place, starting with the cruise control wire with the ground. So let's take that. Let's see here. That puppy goes in there. Just like that. And this extra one here, that one, from what I understand, is for steering wheel controls. So if you want to add steering wheel controls, you can do that. And in fact, these, I don't know if you notice these little plastic pieces with the screw here, but these are actually filler pieces for where the buttons would normally go, and then they connect obviously to that port there. So if you want to add them, you can, but in some cases you're actually going to have to not only add them here and then here, but you're going to have to change the airbag to fit with the, so you have to order a different airbag. And then also sometimes underneath the dash over here, you've got to make some modifications. So anyway, that way you guys know. And now we're ready for the airbag. All right, so pretty much the reverse process here. We're going to take the ground wire that you see here, and that's going to go right there on that tab that's there. And then the two airbag plugs, which are actually color coded. So you've got the orange, red one there, and then the black one, and they go corresponding to this. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and before we forget, we do need to plug in the cruise control. So let's get the cruise control plugged in. So tucking that wire in there. Let's go ahead and just get it plugged in first. So pretty much reverse application the way I took it apart. And they do sell these clock springs on Amazon and different places. So and I think you can actually pick them up at your local hardware store too. You might have to order them though, depending on your make and model. So anyway, all right, let me get this thing connected. It's too hard to do with one hand. All right, clock spring's been replaced on this. Got everything back together. Now we're gonna turn the engine on and see if my airbag light stays on or if it's going to go through the normal check now that the new clock spring is installed, and turn off. And we'll also check the cruise control down here and see if it works right too. So here we go. And looky there. Airbag light has gone away. No airbag light now. Just the seatbelt light, which should be flashing until I buckle my seatbelt. So there it goes. Now we'll check the cruise control, and looky there, cruise control button works. So this one is all done. Actually turned out being a lot easier than I thought it would be, so you should be able to do the same.